In the year 1991, a significant event unfolded involving Vasile Gorgos, a 63-year-old farmer hailing from Romania. He embarked on a brief journey for business purposes, bidding farewell to his family for a short period. However, as time passed, Vasile did not reappear, leading his family to presume the worst, that he had met an unfortunate fate. 3 decades drifted by, and just when hope seemed lost, Vasile resurfaced at his family's doorstep, clad in the same attire he had worn when he departed. The circumstances surrounding his mysterious vanishing left everyone bewildered, sparking a flurry of theories attempting to unravel the mystery of Vasile Gorgos's disappearance. Various speculations arose in an attempt to shed light on what transpired during his absence, keeping the community intrigued with the unanswered questions surrounding his sudden reappearance after 30 long years. Bacău is a charming town situated in Romania, forming a significant part of the Bacău district. The inhabitants of this region primarily sustain their livelihood through agricultural activities and the diligent care of livestock. Among the notable residents is Vasile Gorgos, an individual who would eventually gain recognition at a modest level within the community. Similar to many residents of Bacău, Vasile's primary source of income revolves around the trade of livestock. His daily routine entails embarking on journeys to various cities across Romania, where he engages in the sale of animals, as well as actively participates in agricultural exhibitions and fairs, contributing to the vibrant agricultural economy of the region. Vasile built a reputation for his regular business travels via train, venturing to different cities in Romania to engage in livestock trading. Typically, his trips were brief, lasting only a day or two before his return. However, during one specific journey, Vasile mysteriously extended his absence, causing deep concern among his family members. With no communication from him, they took the steps of involving the authorities and launching a search operation, yet all efforts yielded no sign of his whereabouts. As time elapsed, transitioning from days to weeks, weeks to months, and eventually to years, his loved ones reluctantly acknowledged the likelihood of Vasile's untimely demise. Grieving his absence, they commemorated him through regular memorial ceremonies, paying homage to his memory and the legacy he left behind. Upon arriving at the Gorgos family residence on August 29, 2021, a vehicle pulled up, and to everyone's surprise, a 93-year-old man emerged, revealed to be Vasile Gorgos. This unexpected return left his family both shocked and bewildered. What added to their disbelief was the fact that despite the time span of 3 decades, he was still clad in the same attire he wore when he departed years ago. More incredibly, he discovered that he still possessed the train ticket from 30 years prior in his pocket, a detail that further baffled those witnessing his return. Upon Vasile's sudden return, a myriad of questions surfaced, stirring curiosity and concern alike. The foremost queries revolved around his whereabouts during his absence and the peculiar choice of donning the same attire he wore when he departed. However, the mystery deepened as attention shifted to the contents discovered within his pockets. A train ticket from the Ploiești-Bacău route dated the day all communication was lost, and his ID card. While a medical evaluation indicated Vasile's physical well-being, lingering apprehensions loomed regarding his mental state, adding another layer to the perplexing circumstances surrounding his reappearance. Upon inquiry regarding his location and the occurrences over the past 3 decades, Vasile serenely responded that he had been at his residence. Interestingly, he had no recollection of the elapsed time, claiming it felt like only a few days since he bid farewell to his loved ones. His memory of his dwelling, family members, and professional endeavors from 30 years ago remained lucid and unaltered, yet the subsequent years appeared as a void in his mind. This anomaly left him puzzled and seeking answers to unravel the mysterious time lapse that had altered his reality. Despite the mystery that enveloped his memory, Vasile's demeanor remained composed and inquisitive as he grappled with the unsettling revelation of the missing years within the fabric of his existence. After the agricultural production cooperative in the village closed its operations in 1991, Gorgos made the decision to leave home. When he eventually returned to his hometown, his family faced immense challenges in tracing his whereabouts during the 3 decades he had been absent. Despite their persistent efforts, the mystery of Gorgos's whereabouts and the events that transpired during his absence remained unsolved, leaving his family in a state of bewilderment and uncertainty. the son of Gorgos, expressed bewilderment towards an individual, indicating a lack of understanding due to the incomprehensibility of his statements. The subject in question seemed to dwell on a past period when he was engaged in the breeding and trading of cattle, yet his discourse appeared disjointed, leading to confusion among those listening. This has sparked curiosity regarding the whereabouts of this individual, the circumstances under which he existed, and the possibility that he may have been subjected to unwelcome circumstances, such as involuntary labor. Such uncertainties have prompted contemplation about the nature of the life this person might have endured. Through a detailed medical assessment, Vasile's overall health was assessed to be robust, despite his advanced age. Nonetheless, a significant challenge he faced pertained to memory impairment, rendering him unable to recollect events spanning the past 30 years. This peculiar situation presented itself as though the hands of time had ceased to move for him, encapsulating him within a frozen frame of the past. The examination shed light on his physical well-being, highlighting resilience despite age-related concerns and shedding insight into the perplexing nature of memory loss. In a quiet neighborhood where the Gorgos family resided, onlookers observed Vasile's unexpected reappearance, yet their astonishment was so profound that they overlooked the license plate of the car involved. Further deepening the intrigue, the driver swiftly accelerated away as soon as Vasile disembarked from the vehicle. This perplexing sequence of events left the neighbors puzzled, with unanswered questions lingering in the air. Various hypotheses have been postulated to elucidate the mysterious vanishing and subsequent reappearance of Vasile Gorgos. One school of thought posits that he potentially chose to leave his family behind in pursuit of a fresh start. However, as his well-being deteriorated, those he had connected with in his new life may have forsaken him, consequently prompting his eventual return to his original family circle. Some individuals speculate about Vasile's departure from his previous life, suggesting that unhappiness might have driven him to seek a new path, yet nostalgia for his original family likely lingered as he aged. Alternatively, there's a notion that Vasile might have been compelled to endure a challenging existence. His return could have stemmed from an inability to continue working or due to the demise of those who held him in captivity. This complex narrative around Vasile's circumstances raises questions about the motives behind his actions and the varied possibilities that could have influenced his decisions as he navigated through different phases of life. Considered to be one of the most bizarre disappearances of recent years, the vanishing of a 39-year-old experienced outdoorsman by the name of Todd Hoflander from the Seven Devils area of Idaho has become a popular case amongst missing 411 and paranormal investigators. According to the events surrounding the case, it would be on the 27th of September, back in 2010, that Todd Hoflander would go out for a short 4-day hiking trip with a good friend of his, when he would suddenly be reported missing less than a few hours into the trip. The area where Todd Hoflander and his hiking partner would journey to was known as the Seven Devils area of Idaho, a wide-open location difficult for someone to have gone missing in. The region possessed little to no vegetation and was located high in elevation, making it easy for airplanes or helicopters to spot missing hikers. Additionally, the spot where Todd and his hiking partner were walking had a lot of exposed rock and dirt, making it much easier for their brightly colored clothes to be seen from the air. As can be expected, it would come as a terrible shock to everyone involved when Todd Hoflander would not only suddenly go missing in a short span of time, but would not be recovered even after weeks of searching. According to Todd's hiking partner, the two men started their trip up the mountain following paved hiking trails that stretched up to the highest summit of the area. Joining the two men was also Todd's black Labrador, Ruby, who seemed playful and excited to be on the hiking trip. After hiking for several hours, Todd would complain to his hiking partner that his knee had become incredibly sore. Although it was never explained if Todd's sore knee was caused by the hike itself or was due to an old injury or disability, the hiking partner would later tell investigators that it would be due to Todd's bad knee that Todd would decide to return back downhill and meet back up with his friend at a later time at the base of river where the two men had decided to make camp earlier in the day. The hiking partner would also tell investigators that he didn't believe that the sore knee was a serious issue, as there had been countless times when Todd Hoflander had made comments about his knees when hiking in the past, and were often nothing more than a stiffness or general discomfort. After spending several more hours at the peak of the Seven Devils Mountain, Todd's hiking partner would slowly make his way back down the mountain shortly before the sun had set. As he approached the river where the two men had promised to later meet up and establish a primitive campsite, the hiking partner quickly realized that Todd was nowhere to be found in the area. Although the hiking partner would later tell investigators that splitting up during their hiking trips was common for the two men, he would have a terrible feeling that something was far out of the ordinary, and so would quickly contact local United States Forest Services and the local county sheriff's department to conduct a missing persons search for Todd Hoflander by late evening. Several dozen volunteers from the sheriff's department and agents from the United States Forest Service would spend the night combing the area for Todd Hoflander, alongside close friends and family members, yet no sign of the missing 39-year-old man or his dog, Ruby, were ever discovered. The use of emergency aircraft would also prove to be of little help, as no sign of Todd Hoflander was reported from the skies, even with the use of advanced thermal imaging technology and night vision cameras to scan the area for any signs of body heat. It was almost as if wherever Todd Hoflander had completely vanished from the entire region. Search and rescue volunteers would also grow increasingly concerned due to the plummeting temperatures of the mountain and the high elevation, making it difficult for even a well-insulated individual to have stayed warm through the night. It would be on the second day of Todd's disappearance that investigators would get a witness report from a passing hiker who claimed to have seen Todd Hoflander while he had been resting at the McAfee cow camp located at the halfway point between the mountain summit and the base of the river where Todd and his hiking partner had planned to meet. It would be on the second day of Todd's disappearance that investigators would get a witness report from a passing hiker who claimed to have seen Todd Hoflander while he had been resting at the McAfee cow camp located at the halfway point between the mountain summit and the base of the river where Todd and his hiking partner had planned to meet. According to the hiker, Todd had passed through cow camp and stayed there to rest a while before continuing on his journey. Using the cow camp as Todd's last known location, search and rescue teams would radiate outward from the spot in organized grid-like search patterns in the hopes of locating Todd or any of his belongings. Oddly enough, after another 2 weeks of searching, investigators and search and rescue volunteers were unable to find any sign of Todd, Ruby, or any of his belongings. After a total of 15 days of trying to locate the missing 39-year-old, investigators would call off the search for Todd, believing that he must have completely left the area and was most likely no longer within the national park. Several theories would soon be claimed by investigators, including the possibility that Todd had decided to purposefully abandon his family to start a new life, as he left behind 2 children and his wife. Another widely accepted possibility is believed that Todd may have been attacked by a large animal, as bears are commonly found in the state and could have been responsible for his complete disappearance. Even if that was the case, however, Todd's belongings should have been located within the area. Yet, despite searching for several square miles from where Todd had last been seen, there was little to no evidence of animal attacks or locating any of Todd's items. News surrounding the missing pair would not come forward until another 3 days had passed from the termination of search efforts. According to reports, it would be on the 15th of October that a group of hikers passing through the area would find a black Labrador dog that would later be confirmed by Todd's wife as being Ruby. The hikers would claim to have found the dog while passing through the eastern slopes of the Seven Devils Mountain, the same area where Todd Hoflander was believed to have last been seen. In a bizarre turn of events for investigators, despite having been missing for more than 18 days, Ruby would be found in perfect health, as well as in good moods, as if she had been fed routinely while she was missing. Todd's wife would tell investigators that Todd and Ruby had always been inseparable, and that if Ruby was found in the area, then Todd must have also still been in the area. Seeing Ruby's health as a good sign for Todd's well-being, the search for Todd Hoflander would continue once more. Unfortunately for investigators and Todd's family, despite another week of searching, no sign of Todd was ever located, and the official search into the missing 39-year-old would be terminated. In an incident reported on Sunday, April 26, 2020, the Idaho County Sheriff's Office and the Idaho County Coroner were informed about a discovery made by a hunter who stumbled upon what seemed to be human skull remains above Bernard Creek. The hunter also discovered additional items in the vicinity, such as a backpack containing camping gear and a digital camera. This finding raised concerns and prompted further investigation into the circumstances surrounding the presence of these items in the remote wilderness. The collection of evidence indicated a potentially significant discovery that warranted a thorough examination to ascertain the origins and implications of the unearthing. 8 members of the Idaho County Sheriff's Office were transported via jet boat to the entrance of Bernard Creek by Kilgore Adventures. Subsequently, they embarked on a hike covering approximately 1 mile, during which they came across a fragment of a human skull and assorted skeletal remnants. Additionally, they stumbled upon hunting equipment and a backpack that Hoflander's spouse confirmed as her husband's possessions. The discovery of these items has raised significant questions and concerns regarding the circumstances surrounding Hoflander's disappearance, adding layers of complexity to the ongoing investigation. The intricate interplay between the recovered artifacts and the terrain they were found in suggests a deeper narrative that demands thorough scrutiny and analysis. In the backpack, the officers found a collection of photographs stored on an SD card that was determined to belong to Hoflander. Based on the evidence discovered at the location, authorities concluded that the human remains were likely those of Todd. To further investigate and confirm the identity, Idaho County Coroner Cody Funker decided to transfer the bones to the Ada County Coroner's Office in Boise for thorough evaluation and DNA analysis. This meticulous process of transferring and testing the remains highlighted the importance of accurately identifying the deceased individual. In late January 2021, the human remains discovered in the vicinity of the Seven Devils and Bernard Creek in April 2020 were conclusively recognized as belonging to Todd Hoflander by County Coroner Cody Funker. This identification was made possible through the utilization of DNA analysis conducted by the FBI. The thorough examination by forensic experts and law enforcement agencies not only brought closure to the mysterious case, but also shed light on the circumstances surrounding Todd Hoflander's disappearance. As of right now, no one knows what happened to Todd Hoflander that caused him to be found in such a way. So, what do you make of these mysteries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.